Good afternoon and welcome to the 2020 Economic Recession and Preparation Channel. I'm your host Tony for this Sunday, August 23rd, 2020 edition. Well, it seems that Washington, D.C. is still in deadlock as they are on recess, they're on vacation, members of the House and Senate, until after Labor Day holiday, September 7th, September 8th. It depends that it's fit that they do not care about the American citizens. They do not care about extending coronavirus benefits, aid recovery. They do not care about extending unemployment benefits because they know that there is no V-shaped economic recovery coming. As one commenter said on one of my last videos, that it's more like a K-shaped recovery, meaning for the upper 1% it's recovery, but for everyone else it's just more of the same to the rest of the 99% of us. According to MarketWatch.com, the U.S. economy has already lost steam when federal aid dried up. As a matter of fact, the economy has lost so much steam because the expiration of the $600 extra unemployment benefit has dried up. In addition, now it looks like, my friends, that for those who got the stimulus check the first time are not going to get another stimulus check of $1,200 or $3,400. It appears that Congress is at a stalemate. And if they do pass something, it will be after the elections in November, because they want to make one party look bad and another party look good. I don't want to get into that, but that's what the whole reasoning is behind it for the November elections. The main thing is that I want to talk about today is that states are broke. State economies. There's 10 most vulnerable states that are broke as a result of having urban populations, elderly residents, and economic exposure that were hit as a result of this sickness outbreak. And as a matter of fact, my friends, there is talk of even a second shutdown in some of these states. So we have to be on the lookout for that as well, heading into either before the election or after the election. And so that's something I just want to throw out there as well that I'll be talking about in the future later on this week. Now, in the meantime, these are the states that determined to be least economically vulnerable in the United States. They were Alaska, North Dakota, Virginia, Maryland, and Nebraska. They were determined to be the least economically vulnerable states in the U.S. based in part on their minimal urban populations and the relatively young residents, millennial residents, and things of those natures, and the minimal footprint that they've had in hard-hit industries such as tourism, retail, and manufacturing. But there are some states here that will be hit, and we're going to get into it right now. Hawaii, they're going to be hit big time, as tourism makes up and hospitality makes up over 50% of their economy. Number 9, Montana. Montana will be hit. Montana has the 5th oldest population in the country, behind only Vermont, West Virginia, Florida, and Maine. So they will be hit as they don't have as much industry in that state. It's definitely big open sky country. Number 8, Idaho. Retail is among the largest industries in Idaho and has been particularly hard hit by the closure of non-essential businesses. Number 7, Louisiana. Louisiana is the only state among the most economically vulnerable that also sits among the most 5 heavily infected as of early May. On top of that, Louisiana has the double threat this weekend of dealing with 2 tropical storms, Margot and Laura, that is approaching its coastline. I'm pretty sure the governor's already declared a state of emergency for that. And then on top of that, they have to deal with the high unemployment rate that they have in that state. Number 6, South Carolina. South Carolina has the 10th oldest population in the country and is one of only 3 states from the geographic South on the list. No region had more states among the 10 most economically vulnerable than the South. Governor Henry McMaster issued a stay-at-home order on August the 6th. Number 5, Oregon. Only 10 states have a larger share of residents over the age of 65 than Oregon. Governor Kate Brown had issued a stay-at-home order on March 23rd. They're going to be vulnerable. Number 4 on the list, Florida. Florida, of course, as you know, was the 3rd largest populated state in the United States. It also has the 2nd largest share of seniors over the age of 65. You know, it's a snowbird, a retirement state. And it's the 6th most urban state in the country. Governor Ron DeSantis issued a stay-at-home order on April the 1st. The economy is struggling as it depends on tourism, hospitality, and retail. Number 3, Vermont. The Green Mountain State share of senior citizens ranks 4th nationally, only behind Hawaii and Nevada. Only Hawaii and Nevada are more reliant on hospitality and tourism. Governor Phil Scott issued a stay-at-home order on March 24th. Their economy struggling. Number 2 on the list, Nevada. Nevada is the 3rd most urban state in the country, and it's also the most reliant on tourism and travel to sustain its economy from all its big casinos, such as the Bellagio and all of the strip along the strip in Flamingo. Governor Steve Sisolak, closed casinos and non-essential businesses on March 17th and issued a stay-at-home order back on April the 1st. And the number 1 state with the 10 state economies that are going to be most vulnerable to this economic sickness and this physical coronavirus sickness that continues to go on. We're going into the 9th month next week of this coronavirus stuff. Maine has a larger share of older residents than any state in the U.S., and its economy ranks 6th in the reliance on hospitality and tourism. Governor Janet Mills issued a stay-at-home order that went into effect on April the 2nd. And this is all from usnews.com. The 10 states with the most vulnerable economies because of this sickness. As I mentioned before, the unemployment benefits have dried up. A second stimulus check is about 60% unlikely now. And now these are the 9 things that we need to do to prepare according to survivaloutdoor.com. You need to start storing cash. Keep it at a place where you can physically get to it, because cash will be worth something in the initial stages of the collapse, as we can see. And it'll be hard to come by, especially when credit at the banks and other places dry up, or your account may get hacked. A lot of people's accounts with Bank of America, Chase accounts, Citibank were hacked, and they were showing zero balances in their account. So please, make sure you keep some cash at home. It doesn't have to be a whole lot in a safe box, but keep, $100 bills, $10 bills, $5 bills in small denominations. Store it under your mattress, preferably in small denominations. Next, you need to buy heirloom seeds. Non-GMO seeds. You can get them on Amazon, or if you can go to Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Lowe's. You need to get heirloom seeds. Tractor Supply Company has a good source of seeds too, if they're not already sold out by now. Number 2, you need to practice being the gray man in your community. Continue to maintain operational security, operational spec. Don't bring attention to yourself and your neighborhood and your communities by what you're packing or what you're storing inside your house or in other locations. The point is, you want to be seen as regular, not to alarm people, strange people in the community that things are not going downhill, although, everybody can pretty much feel something is in the air. Number 3, start to practice the art of bartering for goods and services. This is going to be crucial, especially in urban environments, those of us that live in big cities, and in suburban environments, and even in rural environments, okay? A good place to start is start looking at flea markets, thrift shops, and start looking at boutiques. Take these items and think about bartering items that you can use in food, water, clothes, medicine, and think about that, because that's going to become the new currency too once this total collapse comes. We're only in the 3rd inning of this. We have 9 innings of the collapse. We're only in the 3rd inning of the collapse right now. Number 4, take care of major or minor health concerns now. Go ahead and use your jobs. If you have a job, use your job's insurance to take care. Get your teeth clean. Get your physical health checked up. Make sure you have everything. Get in shape. Cut out sweets. Start building up your stamina, because they're going to be items that we may have to go without for a while. It could be dairy items, could be food items, could be medicine items. But get in shape. Take care of your minor concerns, health concerns now for your family and your friends. Number 5, keep your vehicles in top working condition and always top them off with fuel. This goes without saying. You do not want to take on additional new debt unless you have to, unless your car totally just jams, a timing belt goes out, or a transmission just blows, or the whole engine head gasket goes. You want to keep your used cars in top working condition. Do your own maintenance on them if you can. If you take them to the shop, it's an automatic $500 to $1,000, even at the lesser known shops now. So because of labor and because they jack up the price. So to be honest, you want to do your own work. Only take it these little places for oil changes, and the rest, try to do yourself, and they'll run forever. I promise you. Especially if it's a Honda, Toyota, or Subaru. Okay, take care of home repairs that have been on the deferred maintenance list forever. Continue to buy things such as blue tarps. Continue to take care of home repairs. Whatever home repairs you have up, get plumbing fixtures that you need. Get spackling, get crackle, the stuff you put sealant, stuff like that you may need in your home, and take care of small repairs for yourself, by yourself. Number 7, learn to cook bulk food, some food storage. Beans, rice, oat, wheat. A little bit of produce, but nothing that's going to be spoiling when the power goes out. Like a lot of fresh produce is going to spoil. If you get a lot of kale and a lot of tomatoes, stuff like that, it's going to spoil. But get a little bit of that stuff that you can and start learning how to can. Back in the day, they used to do that. Number 8, make arrangements for alternative living quarters. If something happens to your home and you have to move, you have to be a nomad. If we become a nomad, America becomes a nomad state where people are moving from state to state, kind of like a Dust Bowl, what they did in the 30s, but all over, which I could see happening because the young people coming out of college don't have jobs, and grad school, they may have to move all over to get whatever they can, kind of a nomad type of job situation, especially when we have 60 million unemployed, as I told you last video. So start to prep alternative living quarters. Start buying. Where would you go? Would you live with family? Do you have a RV, a tent? Some people are living in their cars in California. A lot of people are living in their cars in California and in the Bay Area because they can't afford the rents up there or mortgages. So they live in their car and then they go to work. So I don't know if that'll work for you, but just try to look at alternative living quarters, tiny houses, whatever you can to get out the city. Number 9, the last one is learn to become self-entertaining without spending money. Like a broken record, try to don't rely on cable TV or trips to the mall. All that's going to be things of the past. Learn how to ride a bicycle, read a book, play cards or board games, dance, go for a hike in the woods with your family. Learn to spend time entertaining yourself without having the external stimulation of all this internet and games and all this stuff, because we're going to need it, and we're going to learn to that is what prepping is about, learning to survive with all of the stuff that we used to survive, that our forefathers and our grandfathers and grandmothers used to do when they didn't have internet, when they didn't have a whole bunch of power and all these luxuries that we have today. We will survive. America will survive. But first, we have to be the ones to take it back there. We have to be the ones to stand up to these politicians and to these cronyism and capitalism that's going on in our country, that is destroying our country on both sides of the aisle political spectrum. And so they're going to do what it takes to make them look good for the elections. And for everything else, they're not concerned about us. But we have to take our own health and well-being and our own concern to be self-sufficient. And that's what I preach on this channel. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions or concerns or comments, please leave them down below. Please subscribe. And I good start to the week coming up here. And I will see you soon on Monday. Take care.